Well, good day. How's it going? Unbelievable. Okay, so I just got back from a walk. You know how I love to have a big, it's not really a rant, is it? It's not a rave, it's just a chat after I get back from one. And it wasn't such a big one tonight either because it's been flogging down with rain for a couple of days. And we got a brief interlude in the flogging down of rain this evening. Sufficiently enough for me to go down to my usual spot. Whereas I come through the clearing and it's walking through the bloody dark, mind you, bloody dark. There was a sliver of moon over behind us, but it's mostly obscured by the trees, and it's not a very big sliver. It's reaching the quarter phase. And way back there, did I mention that? Behind us. So it's always interesting walking barefoot through the dark along a rough, rocky country road with my dog and a little bit of a friendly reminder of what it's like to be alive. Damn, I brew good beer. I mean, I make some batches better than others, but this one, even though it was only bottled in January, it's bloody good. So anyway, took the little fella out for a walk so he can go and do his shit in the bushes and all that sort of stuff. Because I hate cleaning up all this shit. So as usual, when I got to this spot where I see this regular telegraph pole, I'm thinking to myself, as I'm leaving home here, I can see the Southern Cross. I'm thinking, damn it, it's not in the same position. I'm bloody wrong. I'm going to have to get onto YouTube and go through thousands of comments I've made over the last few years and tell everybody, okay, I was wrong. You're right. The Southern Cross is not in the same place every night, all year round, as I keep saying over and over and over and fucking over again. But when I got to the spot and saw the bloody telegraph pole, and here's the Southern Cross fucking framed by it. And I didn't bring that phony thing I'm using here to film this with me, so I could try and take a picture in the dark, which never comes out anyway, just to prove it. But I've got no reason to lie to you about it. I got to the spot, I looked at the telegraph pole, and there's the Southern Cross framed by this telegraph pole, like frame. But the cross is still leaning slightly that way. It doesn't seem to have changed much in a long time. Orion, I'll grant you that, it's moved. It is moving further and further north constantly. Like, it's way more than I thought it would be. I'm thinking, geez, we're rushing into winter here. We've only just passed the equinox, and already, because I noticed the last couple of years how Orion keeps on pinging off up towards the north where we can barely see it here at all, but it was still quite visible, like only, yeah, like, you know, if that's 90 degrees, yeah, 45 would be fair enough to say how far away it is now. It was leaning towards the moon, and that's kind of what you come to expect, because we know that the stars rotate around above us. But the Orion constellation itself, every single star, no change in parallax throughout my entire life, ever since I was a 5-year-old kid. Just first amazed at it. I don't know what it was, something about it just drew me to look at it. And I couldn't take my eyes off it. I love the constellation Orion. It's got strong soul feelings for me ever since I was a little kid. So I take very great notice every night when I see it. And the Southern Cross, they're just the two constellations that I've spent my whole life looking at. While I'm still looking at all the others as well, don't get me wrong, I love looking at them all, but I don't like naming them. I've mentioned that before and I'm not going to go into it again. I just like to appreciate them for how I see them as they are, without trying to give them these generic human names that we give them. I just don't think it's appropriate. I think we should just appreciate them in our own personal way and just tell them when you see them and notice them, damn, you look beautiful tonight. As I do. As I always do. This is me. This is who I am. I am a nature lover. Always have been and always will be. And for those of you who can't understand because you're just all stuck on your friggin' internet all day, living in cities or living in towns and got no connection with nature, I can't explain to you what I feel, who I am. I just am what I am. I've spent years and years and years living on the coast, working night times quite often so that by early morning I'm right down there watching the sun come up, feeling the heat of it, watching the phases of the moon constantly, feeling the tides, swimming in the ocean, sitting in the bush drinking beer with friggin' snakes, walking through the wallaby tracks barefoot in the freezing cold. That's how I love to live my life and how I have lived it, and it always constantly changes because that is life. But no matter what I do or where I live, I'm always living in touch with nature. And here where I live in Clunes, New South Wales, between Bengalo and Lismore, right now in 2018, I live in a perfect place to go and view the stars quite often, weather permitting. And the weather permitted me to go see for a little while, but as we got just a little bit further down the hill, we could see this massive bank of clouds coming, and wouldn't surprise me if it's already pissing down, but it will be in any minute now. This is the sort of weather we get quite regularly. Not all year round. Sometimes we can have months of nothing but beautiful clear weather. Other times months but nothing but torrential rain, which we got this time last year when I started my job, and it was the frickin' in the middle of a cyclone. And Lismore flooded. So we're just getting past the anniversary of that. And tonight, as I'm looking out at the stars, once again, I saw several. Well, the first thing I saw was a plane, because you always see the planes, they're constantly coming, but this one actually did something quite out of the ordinary, in that instead of just going like they all do, as I saw it, this one actually started turning and came straight towards me. And I thought, well, that's really, really unusual. I actually pointed at it and said, "Oi, mate, over there." But I think maybe what's happened is he must have had a, well, shit, we can't assume all pilots are men. Can we? Anyway, the autopilot in this plane might have been told that if you keep heading north, you're going to run into this massive storm head, so maybe you better turn around, come back and try again a bit later, which kind of makes sense because that's exactly what I saw. So yeah, I'm always watching planes. 99% of them are travelling from the south to the north. At night time, they're all going from Sydney, Melbourne, whatever, up towards Brisbane. They never go, shouldn't say never, there's always that little 1.1% that you see actually going that direction, and occasionally you will see one going towards the east, which is rare. They're those military ones spraying all the chemtrails. I'm 100% sure of that, because they're the only ones I ever see go in that direction at the same time I see chemtrails being sprayed. Not to say that all chemtrails go in that direction, not by any means. No. It's just these particular ones for these particular events, like when they want to cause a big flood or whatever the fuck they're doing, the fucking pricks. So anyway, yep. Southern Cross. Same place. Every night. All year round. March 23rd, or is it 24th? I'm not sure. I think it's still 23rd. I didn't check. Yeah, I think it is. 23rd. 2018. Exact same place. Where it was. In December. Every night of the year when I go and actually check. Now, I grant you, by the time I go out again now, it will have actually moved around a bit. That's what the stars do. It doesn't mean that we're on a spinning ball doing that, because if we're on a spinning ball doing that, we'd be on the other side of the sun looking 180 degrees the other way. I've still yet to see any evidence whatsoever of that, when every single night of the year, regardless of the time of the night, I'll still be able to see the Southern Cross constellation over there in the south, somewhat southeast, generally speaking. It's particularly not that long after sunset, because I usually don't go out that late. Sometimes I do. Sometimes when I go out really late, I've actually got to look quite a lot back to the west to find where it is, but it's still there. It's still there constantly. Yet, to believe we're on a spinning ball on the complete opposite side of the sun, looking the complete opposite way. This is the thing that the globe heads, you just can't wrap your heads around it, because you're just saying, oh yeah, but that's what happens because we're on a spinning ball. But no, the spinning ball is going around the sun. Around and fucking round the sun. So wherever the face is facing towards the sun throughout the year, that's the daytime. So it's only at the night time we can be looking the other way to be able to see the stars. It's not fucking that hard to wrap your head around, even though I had to do it again. You know, I produced my first freaking flat earth video well over 3 years ago now. What was it called? Flat Earth 101 for ignorant globeheads, where I had to explain this thing about us going around the sun and how that should, technically every 6 months, change our day and night. That we should have daytime at night time. Well, of course, we never have it at night time. It's always daytime. But because we're using fixed clocks to measure the time, that fixed 24-hour period we are measuring to fabricate a sidereal day is the most dishonest, I'll grant you very clever, but the most dishonest, disingenuous way to try and say that the 24-hour clock is lying to us. We've only got 23 hours and 56 minutes every day, even though it's still measuring 24. And I did the calculations. 1 degree in 4 minutes. 60 minutes divided by 4 is 15. 15 by 24 is 360. 360 degrees in a day. Not 361. So what do? They just go and tweak the figures. Tweak them a bit. Let's make it, this is what it's all about. They tweak the figures. They create formulas. They create bullshit to say what isn't practical. What is practical is seeing the sun overhead every day at 12 midday, because the sun goes around the earth and it comes back around above us in 24 hours. Not because we're on a spinning ball, spinning on our axis in 24 hours, taking a whole year to go around the fucking sun. It's just complete and utter bullshit, which is why I really fucking hate. I'm really getting frustrated with the heliocentrists. I'm getting so sick of trying to even argue with them because they can't grasp simple logic. They are so indoctrinated in this sun-worshipping cult of we're going around the sun. I mean, fuck. I wish I wasn't using my phone here because that's all I've got at the moment. I'd go and have a look at some things on Facebook just today that people are saying, like one idiot on one of these, it's meant to be a flat earth versus globe earth debate group, and he says, I would like for a flat earther to show me one example of something I can see to prove we're not on a globe. That's really not that hard. Just go and look at the ocean. Can you see curvature? No. You can imagine curvature because it gets so far away, so far out of sight of mind. I didn't even bring that one up. What was the... I can't even think now because I'm a little bit worked up. Far out. That's not like me. I'm usually normally cool, calm and collected. Oh, and by the way, for those of you who are still following, I've got a really good Sunday coming up this week, if I survive Saturday tomorrow. I'm going to do one of these really cool, comedy show type things where I'm going to do the Holy Mother of Flat Earth Church again. And I've actually written out 2 songs today, which I think are really cool, and I corrected another one earlier, so I've actually got 3, but I think 2 of them could be close to my best ones yet, so I'm keeping you in suspense on that. It's coming up this Sunday. I've never actually thought of doing a live YouTubey thingy. One day I'll get the confidence to do it, but it only takes a couple of hours to upload it once I do a half-hour tube video, so we'll see how it goes. But let's go back to where we were again. Globe. Normal people believing that we live on a spinning ball going faster than the speed of sound around a travelling ball moving 500,000 miles an hour through space, as we also travel 1.6 million miles a day going around it, plus keeping up with it, actually ask for evidence to prove the Earth is flat. So, yeah, I really wish I can't even bring a tablet down here because anyway, I'll try and trust my memory. Now you're in for trouble. What did I say? I can almost remember the second one now. It's coming to me. I'm just channeling it. That doesn't work. I can't channel. I can only tube. That was a bad one. Well, the second one was really basic because I brought up the moon. The moon, I mean, come on. If the Earth is spinning 1,040 miles an hour around the sun, going 66,600 miles an hour, which means it's actually travelling 1.6 million miles a day. I worked that one out. I got a calculated app on my phone. Fucking smart. I plugged in the numbers, and then we work out that the sun is shooting through space 500,000 miles an hour. I was a little bit hesitant to use the fact that they say our galaxy is also moving 2.2 million miles an hour through space around the Great Attractor. But if they're gonna give us these big fucking figures, we're entitled 100% to use every single one of them to try and prove the lack of heliocentricity on this flat, stationary Earth. Because it's not moving. I mean, you can walk outside and go and have a look for yourself. You're not moving faster than the speed of sound. So why not use every other fucking measurement that they calculate with their formulas and their seances and all the other shit that they conjure up out of the dark energy and dark matter to say we're on a spinning ball. The Earth is going approximately 2.6 million miles an hour through space. That's the figures they give us through seance. Yeah, I said seance because it's not science, it's seance. They conjure it up out of the dark world, out of this dark place, to try and convince us with all their dark energies that they conjure up. So if we're going 2.6 million miles an hour, now every hour, like we're currently moving, I don't know if we can, I should have divided that down by 60 again to see how much we're moving per second. I bet we're moving pretty fucking fast. I'm sure you can do that. You can do it for me. I don't stop my videos to do that shit. The moon, in order to appear to be relatively still, as to this evening it was just setting behind us slowly, but generally to just be wafting over us, is going another about 200,000 miles an hour, which gives us an approximation of the moon is actually going 2.8 million miles an hour. Now, I don't know if you've ever researched it. I have. I've already forgotten the exact figure, but type into Google just to reassure me that I'm not completely out of the ballpark here. Speed of speeding bullet, and see what Google brings up for you, because I'm pretty sure it's about 1,600 miles an hour. That's off the top of my head, last time I checked. I could be wrong. 1,600 miles an hour, a speeding bullet. Now tell me, have you ever seen a speeding bullet? Have you ever seen a slug from a slug gun on its way to the target that it's hitting? I don't think so. But as we're watching a moon wafting above us, crystal clear, we can take the most clear pictures of it, it is going 2.8 million miles an hour. Now, I don't know about you. Yeah, I have trouble sometimes watching a fucking ping pong ball going across the table and it's probably not even going 80 miles an hour. I don't know how fast it's going. Speeding bullet, 1,600 miles an hour. You can't see it. You can probably make out an arrow flying towards its target. It's not travelling anywhere near as fast. 2.8 million miles an hour of a gently wafting ball. Our moon. I'm telling you, I'm not buying it. I'm not buying it. Not if we're speeding 4 different rates of speed, 2.6 million miles an hour, you know, spinning on our axis, speeding around the sun, chasing the sun, shooting through the galaxy as the whole galaxy is going through the great attractor. It's fucking great. How the fucking hell can the moon appear to be basically just wafting around us, always showing the same face to us? While it's travelling 2.8 million miles an hour. I'm telling you, it's impossible. What is possible? Earth is flat and stationary. The sun travels around us at approximately 1,040 miles an hour. It's pretty fast. That's how long it takes to go right around us every day. The moon's a little bit slower. It takes an extra 50 minutes, so it's possibly, I don't know, 1,080, sorry, let's go back a bit. Let's go about 998 miles an hour off the top of my head. Yeah, I pulled that out my arse. I don't normally do that with calculations. I would normally stop and make a calculation. But the speed of the moon is 50 minutes slower per day to make a rotation around above us. Occam's razor simply says, when you're going to pull out complicated bullshit out of your ass and make up all sorts of freaking stupid, fucking fantastic, what's the word again? My beer is empty. Theories and come on, it'll come to me. Theories and calculations and formulas. Formulas, that's the word I was looking for. If you have to make up all these sort of fucking formulas, yet when on the other side of Occam's razor it says, let's just look at what's actually going on. The sun is going around us. The moon is going around us. And we don't have to invent miraculous formulas about us having to travel 2.6 million miles an hour on 4 different rotational speeds to keep the moon going 2.8 million miles an hour plus all our rotational speeds in order to appear to be gently wafting above us. I think that Occam's razor wins the day and says, we're not moving anywhere. The sun and moon are moving around above us. And I'm really looking forward to Sunday because, damn it, I'm going to build that channel up. I'm building a new channel too, by the way. Yeah, I did repost my first one, which was a total embarrassment. It's called Eddy T Rose. It is my alter ego. I'm a little bit hesitant to do it because I'm thinking alter ego versus just be myself. But I'm thinking, well, why not invent the alter ego and be the alter ego? Which I've kind of done over the years. I've been Eddy T Rose for some time. I mean, over in the Philippines when I first went over there, that's about 7 years back now, everybody knew me as Ed or Eddy because that was just the email address I used at the time. I mean, you don't go onto a dating site just to be necessarily your true self. I mean, what if people find out? Eventually, I just grasped hold of it. I thought, oh well, I'll be Eddy Rose. That's who I am. My middle name's Edward. The street I was born into as a child was Rose Street. So when you find yourself a stage name, you take on your grandparents' middle name, which was Edward, and the name of the first street you lived on, which was Rose. So I thought, oh well, Eddy Rose, it's got a good name to it, and then I put the T into it. So I've got a Facebook account anyway, Eddy T Rose, and I'm thinking of just using that as the personality that I want to do to present the flat world and the Holy Mother of Flat Earth Church to the world. I don't know if that's a good or bad thing. I don't like deception. So now that you know it's not deception, it's just truth, it's just me inventing a personality to do it, I hope you can grasp that and embrace it. Give me a bit of love. I could use a little at the moment, don't get me wrong. And yeah, let's see how it goes. On Sunday, I'm going to do my best to bring in a few new songs. It's going to be fun. Cheers guys, talk to you soon.